Your life in Napoleon's no-pants France. Imagine a world where women wore basically nothing, nobody bathed, and guys flirted with foot sniffing. Yeah, welcome to Napoleon's France. You're 18, barely surviving puberty, and Paris just hit you with yet another trial. A woman walks by wearing what looks like it's meant to hide nothing. Her dress is so sheer even your thoughts feel inappropriate. Welcome to the 𝐤𝐵𝐵𝐶. France's elite fashionistas who dressed like every day was laundry day and nobody had clean clothes. Post-revolution France was emotionally wrecked. Heads had rolled, morals were confused, and apparently so were pants. So women said, screw it, and rolled up to salons in dresses made of transparent silk that clung like wet tissue in a rainstorm. No corsets or petticoats, just a whole lot of, how is this legal? And the men, called the incroyables, looked like Disney villains with daddy issues. Giant collars, ridiculous wigs, and tight pants that screamed, my dad pays my rent. You muster the courage to flirt. She takes one look, sniffs and says, ugh, you smell like water. Pass. This is Paris in the 1800s. Fashion is bad, but hygiene is even worse. You're 23, shirt half buttoned, trying to impress a powdered noblewoman at a Paris salon. She leans in, flutters her fan, and then recoils because you stink. And not in a he forgot deodorant way. No, you smell like powdered viper guts and fox lung extract. Because in Napoleonic France, bathing was suspicious. They thought water opened your pores and let in disease. So instead, you layer perfume like it's armour. Problem is, the ingredients are nightmare fuel. Rotted animal flesh, whale bath, even muskrat glands. And it's not just the nobles. Even Napoleon himself once wrote to his wife, don't wash, I'm coming. So apparently our guy Napoleon also liked his meat well seasoned. But if you aren't into unwashed body parts, don't keep high hopes with the bread either. You're starving, haven't eaten in 2 days. Then, like a miracle, someone hands you a loaf of French bread. You take a bite, crack! There goes your front tooth. Congrats, you just lost a fight to a baguette. See, in rural Napoleonic France, bread wasn't baked fresh every morning like a Parisian rom-com. No, it was baked once every 6 months and stored like firewood. By month 4, it wasn't food, it was a weapon. People didn't slice it, they hacked it with axes like it owed them money. And if you had soup or wine, you'd dunk the bread just to soften it enough to chew. Otherwise, good luck surviving dinner without a dental emergency. Oh, and whatever you do, don't place it upside down. That was like flipping off the entire village. People believed it invited death. So if you flipped your baguette, you might as well have set a Grim Reaper place card at the table. Bon appétit, toothless. And if having deadly bread wasn't bad enough, you're about to experience a very bloody ball. No pun intended. Alright, so after the reign of terror finally chilled out, and by chilled out I mean they ran out of necks to slice, some of the rich kids who survived started throwing what was basically trauma parties called bal de victimes, or victims' balls. These were invite-only events, and to get in you had to be related to someone who got guillotined. I'm not kidding. You literally needed a dead relative as your +1. The whole vibe was morbid as hell. Women would wear tight black dresses with a red ribbon around their neck to mark the cut line, and their hair was chopped short, just like how they shaved it for the blade. They even did this little dance move where they'd snap their head forward like, whoops, there goes my skull. And yeah, it was spicy, in that I might die tomorrow, so let's make some horrible decisions tonight kind of way. One girl even showed up with a fake severed head in a basket like it was part of her outfit. Guys were into it. I mean, if she's bringing head to the party, what more do you want? The whole night was basically thirsty grief cosplay. People were getting drunk, pretending to faint, flirting over shared trauma, and probably hooking up in cloakrooms between breakdowns. Because nothing says, let's smash, like mutual PTSD and aristocratic guilt. And if you still think there's some hope for you in Napoleon's France, just wait. You're out on the streets of Paris, minding your own business, when you turn a corner and some dude is letting it rip on the wall like he's marking his territory. No one flinches, no one cares, because in Napoleonic France, public urination wasn't illegal, it was expected. There weren't enough public bathrooms, so men just whipped it out and went wherever. Alleys, sidewalks, even outside restaurants. Ladies had it worse. They had to awkwardly squat in alleyways while holding up their 10 layers of skirts like some kind of undignified origami. And the best part, if you were drunk enough, you'd probably strike up a conversation midstream. Totally normal. Smelled like vinegar and wine. Romantic, right? So if your date ghosted you after a walk, don't take it personally. She probably stepped in 3 different puddles of piss and realised she didn't love you that much. And in case things got serious, what came next was even worse. You're meeting your girlfriend's dad for the first time. You go in for a handshake. He goes in for a kiss. Not on the hand, on the cheek. And then another cheek. And maybe a third. This is the French greeting custom, known as la bise. Back in Napoleon's day, cheek kissing wasn't just for flirty French girls. It was for everyone. Old men kissed other old men. Cousins, neighbours, soldiers, you name it, they kissed it. Sometimes it was 2 kisses, sometimes 3 depending on the region. You never knew if the dude leaning in was saying hello or trying to marry you. And no one told you the rules. You just had to survive the gauntlet. Miss a kiss? Insult. Go for the wrong cheek first? Scandal. Accidentally graze a lip? Congratulations! You're engaged. Napoleon may have conquered half of Europe, but he never escaped the most dangerous battlefield. The awkward French greeting. And talking about awkward, nothing could get worse than how they brushed their teeth. You're 21, trying to freshen up before meeting a girl at the salon. You grab your little grooming kit, open your tin of toothpaste, and immediately gag, because in Napoleon's France, the main ingredient was urine. Yeah, actual pee. Human or animal, depending on availability. Why? Because people believed urine had whitening powers. The ammonia helped scrub away stains, apparently. So brushing your teeth back then was less Colgate and more golden shower for your gums. Some guys used stale wine, powdered burnt bread, or literal ash. But if you really wanted that pearly guillotine grin, pea paste was the way to go. Just swirl your brush around and hope you don't hurl before your date sees you. And don't think this was just the peasants. This was normal even among the bougie dudes. You'd walk into a party and half the room would be smiling with teeth cleaned by yesterday's piss. So yeah, your love life in Napoleonic France might die the moment you lean in for a kiss and she gets a whiff of 𝐻𝐵𝐷. Minty fresh? More like manly flush. So, would you rather take your chances in Napoleon's no pants, no baths France, or just keep pretending your dating life isn't that bad? Let me know in the comments, and send this video to someone who thinks history is boring as hell.